And once again, welcome everybody to our Monday contemplation meditation from chapter 15, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. So let's begin our meditation today by simply bringing our awareness to the present moment. Consciously making a decision to be fully here, fully present, right here, right now. And noticing that we always have the ability to make this decision to come present, to bring awareness to reality, the reality of right now. And just sit with that for a moment. Now let's move our awareness to our physical body, checking in, scanning the body from head to toe, and simply noticing what's happening with the body. Is there tension, tightness present anywhere in the body? If there is, bring awareness into that. Rather than pushing it away, bring your awareness fully in. And now gently relaxing the energy throughout your body. Releasing and letting go wherever possible. Now let's move our awareness or attention to our breathing. We'll breathe together for 5 counts. On each count, breathing in and out. In through the nose and out through your mouth, if that is comfortable and possible. At the top of the in-breath, we'll hold for a moment. And then breathing out gently with purpose. Let's breathe in together to the count of 1. Holding for a moment and breathing out. And relax. Breathing in to the count of 2. Holding the breath and breathing out. And relax. Full awareness on your breath, breathing in to the count of 3. Hold the breath, breathing out slowly now. Consciously now slowing down our breathing to the count of 4. Hold the breath and breathing out. Relax. Breathing in to the count of 5. Holding and breathing out slowly. And relax. Now bringing your awareness within. Going in, behind and beyond the thinking mind. To the seat of the observer, the seat of the witness, your seat of consciousness. And experiencing from there the remainder of our meditation contemplation. So we bring our awareness now to the spiritual path itself. In the words of Michael Singer, the highest spiritual path is life itself. If you know how to live daily life, it all becomes a liberating experience. He asks us to contemplate, to realize that you really only have one choice in life. And that is whether or not you want to seek God happiness. That you can throw it all away and make one basic underlying decision. Do you want to be happy, or do you not want to be happy? Once you make that choice, life becomes totally clear. It clarifies everything. And just notice that many people do not dare give themselves that choice because it's a belief that it's not under your control. We begin by saying things like, I'd be happy if I had the right job, my marriage circumstances were different. In other words, if things are not exactly how I want them to be, I cannot be happy. And again, Michael Singer asks us to contemplate this simple question: do you want to be happy or not? Keeping it as simple as possible. And noticing the deep-seated set of preferences that get in the way. Contemplating the example that if you were without food for days, you finally made your way to a house, you knock on the door, the person brings you in and asks you, do you want something to eat? And the truth of that is you would not care what food they gave you. You might simply utter the word food, because you really mean it when you say food. That it no longer has anything to do with mental preferences. In the same way, let's return to the question about happiness. Keeping it simple, do you want to be happy? If your answer is yes, say it without qualification. Do you want to be happy from this point forward for the remainder of your life, regardless of what happens? In that situation, you could lose money, the stock market crashes, your car breaks down, your husband or wife leaves. Those things might happen. But in your choice to walk the highest spiritual path, when you answer yes, you must really mean it. No ifs, ands, or buts. That it's not a question of whether your happiness is under your control. You do not need to qualify it. You don't need to say, as long as things work a certain way, I will be happy. Any condition you create limits your happiness. You cannot control things and keep them the way you want them. The answer must be unconditional. Unconditional happiness is the highest technique there is, according to Michael Singer. You do not need to renounce the world. Simply really mean it when you say you choose happiness. You mean it regardless of what happens. This is a deep spiritual path. It is a direct path to awakening. Once you make this decision, something inevitably will happen that will challenge you. The test of your commitment is exactly what stimulates spiritual growth. The unconditional aspect of your commitment makes it the highest path. You have to decide whether or not you will break your vow. When things are going well, it's easy. The moment something difficult happens, not so. If you look back on your life and contemplate, you may find many times where you said things like, I did not know that was going to happen. I did not think my car would break down. I'd missed the flight. Again, in the moment, the question is, are you willing to break your vow of happiness because events take place? In an evolving, ever-evolving universe, planet, billions of things could happen. The question is not whether they will happen, they are going to happen. The question once again is whether you want to be happy regardless of what happens. The purpose of life is to enjoy and learn from your experience. Contemplating the fact that you help nobody by being miserable. Regardless of your beliefs, the fact is you were born and you are going to die. During the time in between, you get to choose whether or not you want to enjoy the experience. Events do not determine whether you're going to be happy or not. They are events. You determine that. You can be happy just to be alive in this moment. You can be happy having all these things happen to you and then be happy to die. If you live this way, your heart will be open, your spirit will be free, you will soar. This spiritual path leads to transcendence. Any part of your being that would add a condition to your commitment to happiness has got to go. You are willing to let go of the part of you that wants to create melodrama. Letting go of that part that thinks there's a reason not to be happy. To transcend the personal. In doing so, you're naturally awakened to the higher aspects of your being. Contemplate for a moment the truth that enjoying life's experiences is the only rational thing to do. You're sitting on a planet spinning around in the middle of nowhere, floating in empty space in a universe that goes on forever. Reality. If you have to be here, at least be happy and enjoy the experience. We're all going to die anyway. Things are going to happen. That personal question, why should you not be happy? You have that right. You gain nothing by being upset or bothered by life. It doesn't change anything. You just suffer. There will always be something that can upset you if you let it. This choice, the choice to enjoy life, will lead you through your spiritual journey. In truth, it is itself a spiritual teacher. Committing yourself to unconditional happiness will teach you everything there is to learn about yourself, about others, and about the nature of life. You will learn about your mind, your heart, and your will. You simply have to mean it when you say that you'll be happy for the rest of your life. Every moment, every time a part of you begins to get unhappy, let it go. Consciously work with it. Let it go. Use affirmations. Do whatever you need to do to stay open. If you are fully committed, nothing can stop you. No matter what happens, you can choose to enjoy the experience. As Michael Singer explained, if they starve you and put you in solitary confinement, you have fun like you were like being Gandhi. No matter what happens, enjoy the life that comes to you. Again, that question, as difficult as this sounds, what's the benefit of not doing it? What good does it do not to have fun? It doesn't change anything. Let it be a game. If you stay happy, you win. You stay happy no matter what. And the moment unhappiness creeps in, your decision is to let it go. When you're happy, your heart is open, and energy rushes up and moves inside you. When you're unhappy, your heart closes down. To stay happy, do not close your heart. No matter what happens, don't close. Tell yourself, no matter what happens, you are not going to close. You have that choice. Be willing to give up what is necessary to stay happy. Your commitment to be happy. The key is to learn to keep your mind disciplined enough so that it does not trick you into thinking that this one time it's worth closing. If you make a slip, if you fall off the horse, get back on again. The minute you slip, the minute you open your mouth, the minute you start to close and defend yourself, simply get back up. Pick yourself up. Affirm inwardly that you do not want to close no matter what happens. Affirm that all you want is to be at peace and to appreciate life. You do not want your happiness to be conditional upon the behavior of other people or events. If you have trouble remembering that, simply meditate. Meditation strengthens your center of consciousness so that you are always aware enough to not allow your heart to close. Remain open by letting go, releasing the tendency to close. Relax your heart when it starts to tighten. You do not have to be outwardly glowing all the time. You're just joyful inside. Instead of complaining, you're having fun with the different situations that life unfolds. Now let's take a moment to regroup today's contemplation meditation in silence.